Every era of automotive history produces its future legends. Cars that today might seem ordinary, undervalued, or overlooked will, with time, become prized collectibles worth far more than anyone imagined. By 2035, many of the vehicles on today's roads will be long gone, scrapped, or forgotten. But a select few will stand out as icons, treasured by collectors, restored by enthusiasts, and commanding sky-high prices at auctions. So what makes a car destined for collector's gold? It's usually a mix of rarity, performance, cultural impact, and uniqueness. Sometimes it's a limited production model, other times it's a car that defined an era, and in some cases, it's just a machine that enthusiasts refused to let fade away. Today, we're counting down 12 cars you might not expect, but by 2035, they'll be collector's gold. If you see one now, you might want to hold on to it, because tomorrow's treasure could be sitting in your driveway today. Number 12. Lexus LFA. When the Lexus LFA debuted in 2010, it shocked the automotive world. Lexus, a brand known mostly for luxury sedans and reliable SUVs, had built a supercar that could rival Ferrari and Lamborghini. The LFA wasn't just fast, it was an engineering masterpiece. Powered by a 4.8-liter V10 that screamed all the way to 9,000 RPM, it produced 552 horsepower and one of the greatest exhaust notes ever heard. But what really makes the LFA a future collectible is its rarity. Only 500 units were ever built, and each one was essentially hand-assembled. Despite its astronomical price tag when new, over $375,000, it wasn't a huge commercial success. Many sat in showrooms for months, and buyers were hesitant to shell out Ferrari money for a Lexus badge. Ironically, that hesitation is exactly what makes the car so special now. The LFA's design is timeless, blending Japanese precision with supercar flair. Its carbon fiber construction and advanced aerodynamics gave it cutting-edge credibility, but unlike many cars of its era, it wasn't overproduced. Every example is unique, and the car's exclusivity has only grown with time. By 2035, the Lexus LFA will be one of the crown jewels of Japanese automotive history. Collectors are already hoarding them, and prices are steadily climbing. At auctions, pristine models are fetching over $1 million, nearly triple their original sticker price. With its breathtaking sound, rarity, and role as Lexus's first and only true supercar, the LFA is destined to be collector's gold. If you're lucky enough to see one today, know this: in another decade, the LFA won't just be admired, it will be worshipped as a legend. Number 11. Dodge Viper, Final Generation. Few cars capture raw American muscle like the Dodge Viper. From its debut in the early 90s, the Viper built its reputation on brute force. Massive V10 power, outrageous styling, and a driving experience that was as thrilling as it was terrifying. By the time the Final Generation, 2013 to 2017, rolled off the line, it had evolved into something truly special, an uncompromising sports car that marked the end of an era. The last generation Viper packed an 8.4-liter V10 pushing 645 horsepower, delivered through a 6-speed manual gearbox. In a world moving toward turbochargers, dual-clutch automatics, and hybrid assists, the Viper stood proudly as a dinosaur. Loud, raw, and unfiltered. It demanded respect from drivers, punishing mistakes, but rewarding skill with performance few cars could match. What makes the final Gen Viper Future Collector's gold is not just its performance, but its rarity and symbolism. Dodge discontinued the Viper in 2017 due to tightening safety and emission standards. No other car like it will ever be built again. An enormous naturally aspirated V10 paired only with a manual transmission. That formula is extinct, and collectors know it. Production numbers were limited, with fewer than 5,000 built in its last run. Special editions, like the Viper ACR, already command premium prices. Enthusiasts are holding on to them, and auction results show values climbing steadily since discontinuation. By 2035, these cars will be unattainable for most, with pristine examples likely worth several times their original sticker price. Beyond numbers, the Viper represents a cultural icon, the last true no-compromise American supercar. Unlike modern performance machines loaded with electronic aids, the Viper was mechanical, analog, and raw to the core. That authenticity will make it even more desirable as cars become more computerized and autonomous. By 2035, the final Dodge Viper will not just be a collector's car. It will be a symbol of resistance against the automotive world's shift to automation and electrification. For those who love pure driving, it will be gold. Number 10. BMW 1M Coupe. In 2011, BMW surprised everyone with a car nobody expected, the 1M Coupe. It wasn't part of the main M lineup and wasn't even planned as a long-term model. Instead, it was a limited-run project that turned into one of BMW's most celebrated modern cars. By 2035, the 1M Coupe will almost certainly be considered collector's gold. At its core, the 1M used the humble 1 Series chassis, but BMW's M division completely transformed it. It featured a twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six, producing 335 horsepower, paired exclusively with a 6-speed manual transmission. Lightweight, compact, and rear-wheel drive, the 1M felt like a throwback to the pure, driver-focused M cars of the past. Enthusiasts instantly recognized it as something special, a car that emphasized feel and balance over sheer horsepower. Production numbers are a key factor in its future value. BMW built only about 6,300 units worldwide, making it one of the rarest M cars ever. Unlike mass-produced models like the M3 or M5, the 1M's scarcity ensures demand will far exceed supply in the years to come. Another reason for its growing status is its place in BMW history. The 1M arrived at a time when BMW was transitioning toward heavier, more technology-driven cars. The 1M's simplicity, manual gearbox, hydraulic steering, minimal driver aids stood out as one of the last truly analog M cars. As the years go by and BMW embraces electrification, enthusiasts will cherish the 1M even more. Values are already rising. When new, it cost around $47,000. Today, clean examples often fetch over $70,000, with low-mileage cars commanding even more. By 2035, it's not hard to imagine 1 million crossing the six-figure mark, especially pristine, unmodified ones. The BMW 1M Coupe is proof that sometimes the most unexpected cars become legends. With its rarity, performance, and purity, it's destined to be a prized collectible, one of the jewels of BMW's modern era. Number 9. Ford GT, 2005 to 2006. When Ford unveiled the GT in 2005, it wasn't just building a car, it was honoring a legend. Inspired by the GT40 that dominated Le Mans in the 1960s, the 2005 to 2006 Ford GT was a modern reinterpretation of one of the greatest race cars ever built. With retro styling, supercar performance, and limited production numbers, it instantly became a future classic. By 2035, its value will soar even higher, cementing it as collector's gold. Under the hood sat a supercharged 5.4-liter V8, producing 550 horsepower, paired with a 6-speed manual transmission. The GT could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 3 seconds and top out at 205 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest cars of its era. But beyond the numbers, it delivered something rare, a true analog driving experience wrapped in a body that looked like automotive art. Exclusivity is a huge factor in its future value. Ford built just over 4,000 units across 2 model years, ensuring scarcity from the start. While that might sound like a decent production run, demand has always been much higher than supply. Collectors quickly realized the GT's significance, and many examples were tucked away in climate-controlled garages. The GT's cultural importance also adds to its collectible status. It wasn't just a fast car, it was a statement. Ford proved it could build a supercar capable of rivaling Ferrari and Lamborghini, while paying tribute to its greatest racing triumphs. That blend of heritage and modern engineering makes it irresistible to collectors. Values today already reflect its desirability. When new, the GT cost around $150,000. Today, pristine examples often sell for $400,000 to $500,000, with rare colors or ultra-low mileage cars going even higher. By 2035, those numbers will likely double, putting the 2005 GT firmly in 7-figure territory. The Ford GT is more than just a car. It's rolling history. As we move deeper into an era of electric and autonomous vehicles, its raw V8 power, manual gearbox, and timeless design will make it even more valuable. By 2035, it won't just be a collectible, it'll be a national treasure. Number 8. Toyota Supra, A80, 1993 to 2002. Few cars have achieved the cult status of the 4th-generation Toyota Supra, known internally as the A80. Produced from 1993 to 2002, this was the Supra that transformed from a sporty Grand Tourer into a legitimate Japanese supercar. By 2035, pristine examples of the A80 Supra will be worth a fortune, solidifying it as one of the most desirable collector cars of its time. At the heart of the legend is the 2JZG-TE engine, a 3.0-liter inline-six with twin turbochargers that produce 276 to 320 horsepower, depending on the market. On paper, that was impressive, but what really set it apart was its tuning potential. With the right modifications, the 2JZ could reliably produce 800, 1,000, or even more horsepower, making the Supra a darling of the tuning and drag racing world. Its bulletproof engine earned it near mythical status among enthusiasts. The Supra's design also played a role in its lasting appeal. With its sleek, muscular lines, aggressive stance, and unmistakable wing, the A80 looked every bit the part of a Japanese supercar. It became a cultural icon, cemented by its starring role in the Fast and the Furious franchise, where it became the poster child for an entire generation of car enthusiasts. Rarity adds to its collector status. While Toyota produced a decent number of Supras worldwide, unmodified and low-mileage examples are incredibly scarce today. Many were heavily modified, raced, or neglected, which makes clean stock versions highly sought after. Current values reflect its trajectory. A few years ago, Supras could be had for $30,000 to $40,000. Today, unmolested examples can fetch well over $100,000, with rare models like the Turbo with a 6-speed manual selling for far more. By 2035, 6-figure Supras will likely be the norm, and the best examples could climb into mid-6-figure or even 7-figure territory. The Toyota Supra A80 represents the pinnacle of Japanese performance cars from the 90s. Its mix of engineering brilliance, cultural impact, and rarity guarantees that in 2035 it will be one of the crown jewels of any collection. Number 7. Acura NSX, first generation, 1990 to 2005. When the Acura NSX launched in 1990, it completely redefined what a supercar could be. Built with Honda's engineering precision and tuned with input from Formula One legend Ayrton Senna, the NSX combined exotic looks and performance with Japanese reliability. It was Ferrari performance without the Ferrari headaches, a recipe that made it a legend then, and a guaranteed collectible by 2035. The first-gen NSX featured a mid-mounted 3.0-liter V6 with VTEC, producing 270 horsepower at launch, later upgraded to 3.2 liters and 290 horsepower. While those numbers may not shock today, the NSX's lightweight aluminum body and perfect balance made it one of the best-handling cars of its era. More importantly, it was usable. Unlike many European supercars, the NSX started every morning, offered decent visibility, and could handle daily drive-in. That practicality set it apart and earned it a devoted following. What really secures the NSX's place as future collectors' gold is its role in reshaping the supercar market. Ferrari and Lamborghini were forced to up their game after the NSX showed you could have supercar thrills without unreliability. That influence makes it historically significant, not just desirable. Rarity also plays a big part. While Acura sold the NSX for over a decade, total production was relatively low compared to mass-market sports cars. Special editions like the NSX Type R in Japan or Zanardi Edition in the US are already commanding sky-high values. Even standard models are steadily appreciating as clean, unmodified examples become harder to find. Values today are already climbing sharply. A few years ago, early NSXs could be bought for $40,000 to $50,000. Now, low-mileage, pristine examples easily fetch over $100,000, with rarer models going for several times that. By 2035, first-gen NSXs will likely be unobtainable for most, firmly entrenched as collector's gold. The NSX wasn't just another sports car, it was a paradigm shift. And by 2035, owning one will be like owning a piece of supercar history, with values to match. Number 6. Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 C6 2009 to 2013. The Corvette has always been America's sports car, but every so often, Chevrolet builds a version that transcends the rest and becomes a legend. The C6 ZR1, built between 2009 and 2013, is one of those cars. Nicknamed the Blue Devil, it took everything people loved about the Corvette and cranked it to 11, making it one of the most significant performance bargains of its era. By 2035, It will be a crown jewel in Corvette history and a must-have for collectors. Under the hood, the C6 ZR1 packed a 6.2-liter supercharged LS 9V8, producing 638 horsepower, a number that was staggering at the time. With a top speed of 205 miles per hour, it was the fastest and most powerful production Corvette ever built. And unlike European supercars with similar performance, it came in at a fraction of the cost, instantly earning respect from enthusiasts worldwide. What sets the ZR1 apart is its engineering pedigree. It featured a lightweight aluminum frame, carbon fiber body panels, ceramic brakes, and magnetic ride control suspension. It wasn't just fast in a straight line. It could hold its own on the track against cars costing 3 or 4 times as much. That combination of power, technology, and value makes it a standout in the Corvette lineage. Another factor that secures its future as collector's gold is rarity. Only around 4,700 units were produced, ensuring exclusivity. Many were driven hard, so pristine, low-mileage examples are already in high demand. Special editions and rare color combinations are fetching premium prices at auctions. Cultural significance adds to its allure. The ZR1 arrived during a time when American performance cars were proving themselves on the global stage. It wasn't just a Corvette, it was America telling Ferrari, Porsche, and Lamborghini that it could play at their level and win. Values are already climbing. While they could once be found for under $70,000, clean examples now approach 6 figures. By 2035, the C6 ZR1 will likely rival classic Ferraris and Porsches in desirability, solidifying its place as collector's gold. Number 5. Nissan GT-R R35, early models 2009 to 2016. When the R35 Nissan GT-R launched in 2009, it sent shockwaves through the automotive world. Here was a Japanese performance car that could rival Ferraris and Porsches for half the price, using technology and engineering rather than raw displacement to achieve its dominance. Nicknamed Godzilla, the R35 became a legend overnight. By 2035, the early models of this iconic machine will be highly collectible. The R35 GT-R featured a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6 producing 480 horsepower at launch, paired with an advanced all-wheel drive system and lightning-fast dual-clutch transmission. These specs allowed it to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3.5 seconds, a figure that humiliated many supercars, costing double or triple the price. As the years went on, Nissan kept updating the GT-R with more power and refinements, but the early cars hold a special place in enthusiasts' hearts for being the originals. What makes the early R35's future collector's gold is their cultural and performance impact. They proved that technology could level the playing field against European giants. With launch control, advanced aerodynamics, and computer-managed precision, the GT-R was a glimpse into the future of performance cars. Yet, it still retained a rawness that newer, more refined versions lost. Another key factor is rarity in pristine condition. Many early R35s were driven hard, modified, or tracked, and few remain unmolested today. Collectors always chase originality, and finding a stock 2009 to 2011 GT-R is already becoming a challenge. By 2035, untouched examples will be worth a premium. The GT-R also holds immense pop culture weight. From video games like Gran Turismo to appearances in the Fast and the Furious franchise, it became a global icon of accessible supercar performance. That kind of cultural footprint guarantees long-term desirability. Values are beginning to climb. While they once depreciated into the $40,000 range, clean early R35s are now pushing past $70,000 and rising. By 2035, the earliest examples will likely be considered classics, fetching six figures or more at auctions. The R35 GTR is proof that sometimes the underdog doesn't just compete, it dominates. And those first-generation models will be remembered as the moment Nissan built a car that scared Ferrari. Number 4. Porsche Cayman GT4, 2016 to 2019. For decades, the Porsche 911 hogged the spotlight as the brand's performance flagship. But in 2016, Porsche gave enthusiasts something truly special: the Cayman GT4. With a naturally aspirated flat six, a manual transmission, and track-focused engineering, the GT4 wasn't just a baby Porsche. It was a driver's car in the purest sense, and by 2035, it will be one of the most coveted Porsches of its era. The Cayman GT4 was powered by a 3.8-liter flat six, borrowed from the 911 Carrera S, tuned to deliver 385 horsepower. With its mid-engine layout, precise handling, and six-speed manual gearbox, it provided a driving experience that rivaled, and in many cases outshined, the 911. On a twisty back road or racetrack, the GT4 was sharp, balanced, and utterly engaging, quickly earning praise as one of the best sports cars Porsche had ever built. Its limited production numbers only enhance its collectability. Porsche didn't flood the market with GT4s, instead keeping them exclusive. Many were snapped up by enthusiasts who understood their significance. As newer Caymans moved toward turbocharging and electrification, the naturally aspirated manual-only GT4 stood out as a time capsule of pure performance. Another factor is the GT4's cultural role. It represented Porsche finally acknowledging what enthusiasts had said for years, that the Cayman chassis was so good it deserved the full GT treatment. For many collectors, the GT4 feels like a reward for years of loyalty to the brand, and that emotional connection will keep demand high. Values today already reflect this trend. While the GT4 originally sold for around $85,000, used examples often fetch six figures, with low-mileage models commanding hefty premiums. As supply dwindles and enthusiasts cling tightly to their cars, prices will only rise. By 2035, the Cayman GT4 will be more than just a collectible. It will be a benchmark for what a true driver's car should feel like in an era dominated by electric and automated performance machines. Number 3. Aston Martin 512 Vantage, 2009 to 2018. Aston Martin has always been associated with style, sophistication, and James Bond cool. But in 2009, the brand decided to take its smallest car, the V8 Vantage, and shoehorn in its biggest engine, a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12. The result was the V12 Vantage, a car that combined Aston's trademark elegance with raw, unfiltered power. By 2035, it will stand as one of the most collectible Aston Martins of the modern era. The V12 Vantage produced 510 horsepower, all sent to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual gearbox. This wasn't a car designed for mass-market appeal. It was built for purists. The engine's thunderous soundtrack, paired with the car's compact proportions, made it one of the most intoxicating driving experiences of its time. In an era increasingly defined by turbos and automatics, the V12 Vantage stood out as gloriously old school. Rarity is one of its strongest assets. While Aston Martin produced Vantages in decent numbers, the V12 version was built in much smaller batches. Limited edition models, like the V12 Vantage S and special track-focused versions, are already collector favorites. By 2035, their exclusivity will push values even higher. The V12 Vantage also has historical importance. It represents the last gasp of a dying breed. Naturally aspirated V12 engines paired with manual transmissions. With modern regulations forcing Aston Martin toward electrification and hybridization, the V12 Vantage will be remembered as a high-water mark for analog supercars. Values today are on the rise. While early examples could once be found for under $100,000, they're now climbing quickly as collectors realize their significance. Special editions already fetch far more, and by 2035, expect pristine, low-mileage cars to rival Ferraris and Lamborghinis in price. The Aston Martin V12 Vantage isn't just a beautiful car. It's a symbol of an era when passion and excess still defined performance. By 2035, owning one will be like owning a piece of rolling art that also happens to breathe fire. Number 2. Ferrari 458 Italia, 2010 to 2015. The Ferrari 458 Italia is often hailed as one of the greatest Ferraris ever built, and for good reason. It marked a turning point for the brand, blending cutting-edge technology with breathtaking design while staying true to Ferrari's naturally aspirated roots. By 2035, it will be remembered as the last of a dying breed and a guaranteed collector's goldmine. Under its sculpted body lies a 4.5-liter naturally aspirated V8, producing 562 horsepower, screaming all the way to a 9,000 RPM redline. The sound alone is enough to make enthusiasts weak at the knees. Mated to a lightning-quick dual-clutch transmission, the 458 delivered a perfect balance of raw excitement and modern drivability. It wasn't just a supercar, it was one of the most complete performance machines Ferrari had ever built. What sets the 458 apart is its place in history. It was Ferrari's last naturally aspirated mid-engine V8 before the company moved to turbocharging with the 488. That fact alone secures its legacy. Collectors always chase the last of its kind, and the 458's blend of performance and purity ensures it will skyrocket in value. Design is another factor. Penned by Pininfarina, the 458 is considered one of the most beautiful Ferraris of the modern era. Its flowing lines, aggressive stance, and functional aerodynamics make it timeless. Unlike some of its successors, the 458 avoided the clutter of excessive vents and gimmicks. It was pure Ferrari elegance. Reliability, surprisingly, also works in its favor. Unlike some earlier Ferraris, the 458 proved to be relatively dependable, making it appealing to collectors who want both beauty and usability. Values are already reflecting its desirability. While it sold for around $230,000 new, clean examples today often fetch $300,000 or more, with rarer versions like the 458 Special commanding far higher prices. By 2035, expect the 458 to be firmly in seven-figure territory, sitting alongside Ferrari's greatest hits. The 458 Italia wasn't just another Ferrari. It was the last naturally aspirated V8 symphony. By 2035, it will be remembered as the point where modern performance and old-world passion met in perfect harmony. Number 1. Tesla Roadster, first generation, 2008 to 2012. When Tesla unveiled the Roadster in 2008, few believed it would change the automotive world. At the time, electric cars were seen as slow, boring, and impractical. But the Roadster flipped that narrative on its head, proving that EVs could be fast, stylish, and desirable. As Tesla's very first production car, the original Roadster will be considered historic by 2035, and its value will reflect that. Based on the Lotus Elise platform but heavily re-engineered, the Roadster packed an all-electric powertrain delivering instant torque and a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of under 4 seconds. It was the first electric sports car to truly capture the imagination of enthusiasts. While its 244-mile range may seem modest by today's standards, at the time it was revolutionary. It showed the world that EVs had a future, and that Tesla was a company worth watching. Production numbers are a key part of its future collectability. Only about 2,450 units were ever built, making it extremely rare. Many of those were driven hard or retired early, which makes surviving examples even more valuable. Unlike the mass-produced Teslas that followed, the Roadster was essentially hand-built in small batches, giving it a uniqueness that modern EVs lack. Another factor is historical importance. The Roadster didn't just put Tesla on the map, it arguably jump-started the entire modern EV revolution. By 2035, when electric cars dominate the roads, the original Roadster will be seen as the Model T of its era, the car that started it all. Collectors will pay a premium for that kind of legacy. Values are already climbing. While early Roadsters could be found for under $70,000 a few years ago, they now command well over $150,000, with rare versions like the Roadster Sport fetching even higher. By 2035, pristine, low-mileage examples could easily enter the million-dollar club, standing shoulder to shoulder with the most iconic cars of the 21st century. The first Tesla Roadster isn't just a car, it's history on wheels. And in 2035, history will be worth its weight in gold. Some cars fade into obscurity, while others grow into legends. The 12 we've looked at today might seem like great machines now, but by 2035, they'll be automotive treasures, rare, sought after, and worth far more than anyone imagined. Whether it's raw performance, limited production, or historical importance, these cars have all the ingredients to become collector's gold. So, if you're lucky enough to own one today, hold on tight, because tomorrow, it could be the crown jewel of someone's dream garage.